Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Marginal Revolution. So this is basically an introductory video where I will be telling you what I'm gonna cover in my subsequent lectures. So lectures here means I will be teaching economics here, and again economics, as we know, is quite a vast subject. So we have various subjects under economics, for instance microeconomics, macroeconomics, we have international economics, growth and development, public finance. So we need to study all these subjects to have a broad understanding of what economics actually is. But of course we cannot study all these things simultaneously, so I will be taking up one subject at a time, and I have decided to teach macroeconomics first. And why so? Because I feel microeconomics is something which is quite vast, and we have a thick book to understand microeconomics. And also if we start learning micro first, and it's gonna take lot of our time. Also micro is something which is easy to understand, it's just quite vast, otherwise there's not something big deal about it. But again macroeconomics is something which is quite interesting. Okay, so if you guys are not into economics already and you just wanna get hold of what economics is all about, macroeconomics is something which is good to begin with. Okay, and apart from this, we need to of course we need to study economics out of interest, but again for practical purpose we have to clear certain exams, right? And in India we have exams like UPSC conducts economics civil services exam, and there we have economics optional paper. And other than this we have UGC NET, in which if we are taking the economics, and then we have state services exam, we have MA economics. So the underlying idea is I will be covering these subjects holistically, thoroughly. For instance, in macro we have theories, right from classicals to neoclassicals to Keynesians to neo-Keynesian, and in between in 60s we have monetarism. So after going through these lectures and after reading things holistically, doesn't matter which exams you people gonna give, you will have a thorough understanding of each and everything. So the kind of exam doesn't matter, any exam which has macroeconomics in its part, we are good to go. Okay, so without further ado, let's just get into the video. So this basically is an introductory video. So first of all we have macroeconomics. Okay, in macroeconomics we will be studying from Richard T. Frion. Again, since there is asymmetric information here, because this is not gonna be how a traditional class is conducted. Okay, so I will have to make certain assumptions here. If I start teaching macroeconomics from a basic book, then it's gonna take a lot of our time. Richard T. Frion is a little advanced version, but I will be explaining the things as and where they are needed. For instance, we are studying classical economics, and there comes a term, let's say exogenous and endogenous variables. So I will be explaining those terms, so don't worry about it. If you haven't studied macroeconomics already, you're scared of jumping into Richard T. Frion directly, don't worry, things will go smoothly, and I will make sure that nothing get overlooked. Okay, so we'll proceed smoothly and gradually, and at the same time cover these topics holistically, thoroughly, and yeah, that's it. After covering Richard T. Frion, in Richard T. Frion we have almost 18 chapters, and all these chapters are important. There is a slight overlap with international economics from 13th chapter onwards, but we need to cover these topics from Richard T. Frion also. Okay, the kind of competition we are witnessing in these exams, it's better not to sort of leave any topic, any chapter altogether. Okay, so we will be covering Richard T. Frion word to word, cover to cover. Okay, after having done Richard T. Frion, we will study H.L. Ahuja also. But again, this book is something which is quite redundant, there is a lot of overlap here. But just as to be confident of having a complete hold over macroeconomics, we will cover H.L. Ahuja for sure, but it's not gonna take much of our time. Richard T. Frion is something which gonna consume a considerable time, because we need to cover this book thoroughly. There's no point in rushing through the topics, right? But H.L. Ahuja, again, we will rush through it quickly, and it's not gonna take much of our time, right? So the good part is Richard T. Frion is quite a good book. It has explain the evolution of macroeconomics, right from we had classical, then neoclassical, then how, of course we had classical first then Keynesian first, and then how we evolved to neoclassicals and then neo-Keynesian, and in between we have monetarism. So this is quite a good book, and it reduces our burden of understanding macroeconomics. So entire credit goes to this book, okay? And of course you people need to buy this book. I will be providing a link of Amazon from where you can buy this, and yeah, it's a good investment. Do buy the book, watch these videos with patience, and then read the book thoroughly on your own also, and then we are good to go. Okay, this is enough about macroeconomics. Let's just go to the international economics first. I'm not jumping into micro here because as I explained already, if we start learning micro now, it's gonna take a lot of our time, and micro is easy. Even if we don't have much of time, we can quickly make the video and you can quickly watch it and we are good to go. But to understand international economics, we need patience. I have come across people who have found international economics quite difficult to comprehend, but it is quite technical. I will not say that it's something easy and you can quickly understand it, no, but with patience, with the right strategy, we can get hold over international economics. And fortunately we have a good book for this that is written by Dominic Salvatore. We need to read this book thoroughly with patience. If you haven't got over the concepts with one reading, we need to read twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, but ultimately this is the book that will sail us through the international economics. Okay, don't worry, I will, after having done the macro, start teaching international economics also, but underlying idea is we should be mentally prepared, okay, that yes, it's gonna take some time and we need patience, and yeah, that's it. In international economics also we have some 21 chapters, and all the chapters are important. We need to read this book cover to cover, word to word, and actually paper makes the exam difficult. If we know the theory and if we are appearing for an exam where questions are quite simple, we are good to go. But if we are preparing for UPSC exam, and UPSC conducts civil services exam, and there we have economics optional, the questions are quite tricky. We need to make our answer out of whatever we have read in different books. There is no dead questions. Dead question means like we have in MA exams, there is tenure and we study the topic, we write the theories, and that's it, we get marks. But in UPSC exam, questions are quite complex. Answer is gonna be coming out of these books only, but we need a broad and thorough and deep understanding of these topics, okay? So we really cannot rush through international economics as we can rush through micro, okay? So yes, so this was just an introductory video, and again we have what we have in economics, microeconomics, public finance, growth and development. So I have put it into a slide just for the sake of putting it, because it's part of economics, right? We don't have really macro and international economics only. Micro does indeed is a part of our economic subject, but this you might need to study on your own, because covering macro international itself is a big deal. For me, it's gonna take a lot of time. But yes, if we happen to have covered these 2 subjects on time, then I will think about covering some topics of microeconomics that are interesting, and say for instance theory of markets, and yeah, that's it. Okay, then it was just an introductory video, and hopefully we will be continue with these lecture series. And yeah, I will be covering starting with macro first, and we have first chapter was just an introduction, and there's nothing much in this chapter. So basically second chapter, that is classical macroeconomics, output and employment, is gonna be our first chapter for all practical purpose, right? So stay you can subscribe to the channel if you want, and so that you can get notification. I will be posting the regular videos. So thank you so much for watching this video, and yeah, thank you so much once again. Goodbye.